What if I told you that the solution to building strong muscles and protecting your independence as you age isn't hidden inside a supplement bottle, but right on your plate? Yes, you don't need to rely on magnesium pills to fight muscle loss. Nature already gave us the most powerful medicine. Real food. Sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, silently creeps in as early as our 40s and 50s. It doesn't just make you feel weak, it steals your energy, balance, and even your confidence. But here's the good news: you are not powerless. By making smart food choices, you can not only protect your muscles but actually rebuild them. That means more strength, more independence, and a longer, healthier life. Sarcopenia is one of those conditions that sneaks up on people without them realizing it. For many, it starts subtly: a little weakness when carrying groceries, feeling more tired after climbing the stairs, or struggling to open a jar that once was easy. Most people brush it off as just getting older, but in reality, it is the beginning of a deeper problem. Sarcopenia, which means the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength as we age, is not just about vanity or fitness, it is about survival, independence, and the quality of life. The muscles in our body are like the engine that powers everything we do. They support our bones, protect our joints, regulate our metabolism, and even play a role in how our body uses blood sugar. When they start to waste away, the consequences ripple across every system in the body. The problem is that too often, the seriousness of sarcopenia is overlooked. People turn to quick fixes, like supplements that promise strength or pills that claim to restore vitality, but these do not address the real issue. For example, magnesium supplements are often marketed as a way to help with muscle cramps, fatigue, or weakness. While magnesium is important, the truth is that no pill alone can reverse muscle loss. Sarcopenia is not a problem of a single missing nutrient. It is a complex whole-body process that requires a whole-body solution. Imagine a house with a cracked foundation. You would not solve the problem by simply painting the walls or replacing the furniture. You would need to rebuild the foundation itself. Sarcopenia works the same way. The foundation of your strength is muscle, and if you do not protect and rebuild it, no amount of supplements will prevent the decline. The danger is that muscle loss often goes unnoticed until it is advanced. People may dismiss it as normal aging, but the consequences can be devastating. Weak muscles increase the risk of falls, which in older adults are one of the leading causes of fractures and disability. Once someone loses their ability to move independently, it becomes harder to stay active, and the cycle of weakness accelerates. What begins as mild fatigue or slower walking can spiral into loss of independence, hospitalization, and even increased risk of death. Beyond physical weakness, sarcopenia also impacts emotional and mental health. When you can no longer do the activities you love, whether it is gardening, playing with your grandchildren, or simply taking a walk, you begin to lose not only physical capacity, but also confidence and joy. This makes sarcopenia not just a medical issue, but a deeply personal one. Another layer to this problem is misinformation. People are often told to take supplements like magnesium as a cure for their muscle issues. While magnesium does play an important role in muscle function, the bigger picture is missed. Muscles need a steady supply of protein, physical activity, and a balanced diet rich in nutrients that work together. Focusing on a single nutrient is like focusing on one brick while the entire wall crumbles. It is an incomplete and ultimately ineffective solution. The truth is, sarcopenia is preventable and even reversible in many cases, but only if we stop ignoring it and start addressing it at its root. The earlier we recognize that muscle loss is a real and urgent problem, the sooner we can take steps to combat it. It is not just an issue for older adults. Muscle health starts declining in midlife, and the habits we build now determine how well we will age. Recognizing sarcopenia as a threat is the first step toward reclaiming control over health. The problem is clear: losing muscle is losing life. It strips away independence, energy, and the ability to do the things that make life meaningful. Pills and shortcuts are not the answer. Understanding the depth of the problem, seeing it not as normal aging, but as a serious health condition, is what empowers us to make lasting change. This awareness is the foundation upon which solutions can be built, because once the problem is seen clearly, the path towards strength and vitality becomes possible. Think for a moment about how much your muscles actually do for you each day. We often take them for granted until they begin to weaken. But every single movement from the moment you get out of bed to the time you lie down at night depends on muscle strength. When sarcopenia sets in, it doesn't just affect the size of your arms or legs. It affects the very core of your daily life. Imagine reaching down to pick up your grandchild and realizing you cannot lift them without pain. Imagine feeling your legs shake as you try to climb a set of stairs, or noticing that walking across the parking lot leaves you winded. These are not just small inconveniences. They are signs that your muscles are no longer supporting you the way they once did. The impact of muscle loss stretches far beyond these day-to-day frustrations. Strong muscles are like a safety net protecting you from falls, injuries, and fractures. As muscles shrink and weaken, that safety net gets thinner and thinner. A stumble that once would have been nothing more than a laugh can turn into a dangerous fall. For older adults, one bad fall can mean a broken hip, weeks in the hospital, and months of recovery. Some never regain their independence after such an injury. That is the reality of sarcopenia. It slowly chips away at your freedom until one day it takes something you cannot easily get back. But the consequences are not only physical. Muscle strength is also closely tied to metabolism. When muscle mass declines, your body burns fewer calories at rest, which makes it easier to gain weight and harder to keep blood sugar under control. That means sarcopenia is often linked with obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. What looks on the surface like simple weakness is actually part of a much bigger chain reaction that affects your overall health. Without strong muscles, your body struggles to regulate energy, and that leaves you more vulnerable to chronic diseases that shorten both your lifespan and your quality of life. On a more emotional level, losing muscle strength can take away your sense of confidence and independence. Think about how empowering it feels to be able to carry your own groceries, move your own furniture, or keep up with your friends on a walk. Now picture losing those abilities. Every time you need help with something you once did on your own, a piece of your independence slips away. Over time, that loss can lead to frustration, embarrassment, and even depression. People may withdraw from social activities, avoid exercise because it feels too hard, and become trapped in a cycle of isolation and weakness. This is why understanding the impact of sarcopenia is so important. It is not just about getting weaker with age. It is about losing the very things that make life rich and enjoyable. It is about missing out on the freedom to travel, play, and move without fear. It is about being limited in ways you never imagined. And perhaps most importantly, it is about how this decline doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks up over years, which means the habits we form today determine whether we face this future or prevent it. The long-term picture of untreated sarcopenia is sobering. Weak muscles lead to falls, fractures, hospitalizations, and longer recovery times. With each setback, the body becomes less resilient and the cycle continues. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be this way. By paying attention now before the loss becomes severe, you can break that cycle. Recognizing how sarcopenia affects not just your muscles, but your metabolism, your heart, your bones, and your confidence is the first step to protecting your future. Every choice you make to preserve muscle today is an investment in years of independence and vitality. Seeing the impact clearly is what transforms this from a distant medical concept into a personal mission for a stronger, healthier, and longer life. The solution to sarcopenia is not locked inside a supplement bottle, and it is certainly not as simple as swallowing a magnesium pill. The human body is far too complex for such shortcuts. Instead, the answer lies in embracing the richness of whole, natural foods that are packed with the exact nutrients your muscles crave. These foods don't just provide magnesium, they offer protein, antioxidants, healthy fats, and a host of vitamins and minerals that all work together in harmony to build strength, repair tissues, and fuel your energy. This is something a pill can never replicate because no supplement can capture the synergy of nature. Take leafy greens, for example. Spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are often called superfoods for good reason. They are loaded not only with magnesium, but also with potassium, iron, and vitamin K, all essential for muscle contraction, blood flow, and bone health. Eating a serving of greens each day is like giving your muscles a natural energy boost, and over time that adds up to strength you can feel in your daily activities. Then there are nuts and seeds, small but mighty sources of muscle nutrition. Almonds, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and sunflower seeds provide healthy fats that protect your joints, protein that repairs muscle fibers, and magnesium to keep your muscles functioning properly. Even a small handful as a snack can make a real difference. Beans and lentils are another powerhouse that too often get overlooked. They provide plant-based proteins, slow-digesting carbohydrates for steady energy, and fiber that keeps your digestion healthy. They also contain minerals like magnesium and potassium that help prevent cramps and support fluid balance in your cells. When you combine them with whole grains such as brown rice or quinoa, you create a complete protein source that rivals meat in its ability to build and preserve muscle. And speaking of protein, fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines deliver some of the most concentrated nutrition you can get. Not only are they rich in protein for muscle repair, but they also supply omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation and protect joints. Inflammation is a silent enemy of muscle health, and by lowering it naturally with these foods, you give your muscles the environment they need to thrive. Another natural source of magnesium that surprises many people is dark chocolate. A small piece of unsweetened, high-quality dark chocolate can satisfy your cravings while delivering minerals and antioxidants. Of course, the key is moderation, but even this indulgence can be part of a balanced, muscle-protecting diet. The beauty of using food instead of supplements is that you never get just one nutrient in isolation. When you eat an orange, you are not just getting vitamin C, you are getting fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that help your body absorb and use that vitamin more effectively. When you eat salmon, you are not just getting protein, you are also giving your body vitamin D and omega-3 sets that work together with magnesium to keep muscles flexible and strong. Another reason real food is the best solution is that it teaches you to build habits that last. Taking a supplement is passive. You swallow a pill and forget about it. But choosing whole foods requires intention. It encourages you to cook at home, to pay attention to what goes on your plate, and to reconnect with the act of nourishing yourself. This mindset shift is powerful because it puts you back in control of your health instead of handing that responsibility over to a pill. Each meal becomes an opportunity to strengthen your muscles, and each bite is a step away from sarcopenia and toward vitality. When you focus on whole foods, you also avoid the potential downsides of supplements. Magnesium supplements, for instance, can cause digestive issues in some people, and taking too much can actually create imbalances in other minerals. Food, on the other hand, is self-regulating. Your body knows how to process and balance nutrients from natural sources, making them safer and more effective over the long term. This is why cultures that eat diets rich in whole, plant-based foods tend to have lower rates of frailty and muscle loss as they age. They are living proof that food is the real medicine. So the simple natural solution to sarcopenia is right in front of you, in the grocery store, in your kitchen, and on your plate. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated regimens. You need leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, fish, and whole grains. You need to eat in a way that honors your body's complexity instead of trying to trick it with a single nutrient. And the best part is that this solution is not only effective but also enjoyable. Food should be delicious, satisfying, and joyful. By choosing real nourishing foods, you are not just protecting your muscles, you are enriching your life. The best part about protecting and rebuilding your muscles is that you don't need a complicated plan or expensive products. You can start today with small practical steps that fit naturally into your daily routine. Every choice you make with food and activity can either strengthen your muscles or weaken them, and the more often you choose strength, the more powerful the results will be over time. The secret is consistency, not perfection, and the beauty is that you can weave these habits into things you already enjoy doing. One of the simplest changes you can make is to add leafy greens to your meals. If you eat eggs in the morning, toss in a handful of spinach or kale while cooking them. Not only will this give you a burst of magnesium and iron, but it also helps you feel fuller and more energized. If you enjoy smoothies, blend in some fresh greens along with fruits like bananas and berries. This creates a nutrient-rich breakfast that supports your muscles and sets the tone for the rest of the day. It doesn't take more than a minute, yet it can shift your diet in a powerful direction. Snacking is another opportunity to build strength. Instead of reaching for chips or cookies, keep a small container of almonds, pumpkin seeds, or walnuts nearby. They are crunchy, satisfying, and packed with minerals and healthy fats. Even a small handful can give you the nutrients your muscles need while keeping your energy steady between meals. If you like variety, try mixing nuts and seeds with a few dark chocolate chips and dried fruit for a homemade trail mix that feels indulgent but is also deeply nourishing. When it comes to lunch and dinner, think about building your plate around muscle-friendly foods. For example, try replacing refined grains like white rice with quinoa or brown rice, both of which provide more fiber, protein, and minerals. Add a side of beans or lentils a few times a week. They are affordable, versatile, and easy to cook in bulk. You can make a hearty lentil soup, a chickpea salad, or a black bean chili that the whole family can enjoy. By doing this, you are not only protecting your muscles, but also improving digestion and heart health at the same time. Seafood is another excellent addition. If you enjoy fish, try including salmon, sardines, or mackerel in your meals once or twice a week. These types of fish are rich in protein, magnesium, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids, which together create a powerful defense against muscle inflammation and weakness. If you're not used to cooking fish, start simple, bake a salmon fillet with lemon and herbs, or open a can of sardines and add them to a salad. It doesn't have to be fancy to be effective. Even small indulgences can become part of your muscle building strategy. If you crave something sweet, choose a square or two of dark chocolate instead of sugary desserts. Not only will you satisfy your sweet tooth, but you'll also deliver antioxidants and magnesium to your body in a natural way. These little swaps prove that supporting your muscles doesn't mean depriving yourself. It means being intentional about your choices. Beyond food, practical lifestyle habits also play a role. Pairing good nutrition with regular movement creates the strongest protection against sarcopenia. That doesn't mean you have to spend hours in the gym. It could be as simple as walking after dinner, carrying your groceries instead of using a cart, or doing light resistance exercises with your own body weight at home. Even standing up and sitting down from a chair several times can build strength in your legs. When you combine these daily movements with a nutrient-rich diet, the results compound quickly. What makes these tips so powerful is their simplicity. You don't need to overhaul your entire life to make a difference. Start with one change. Add greens to your breakfast, swap chips for nuts, or include beans in your dinner. Once that becomes a habit, add another. Over time, these little steps build a lifestyle that naturally supports strong muscles and prevents sarcopenia. And because the changes are realistic and enjoyable, you are far more likely to stick with them. When you look at your meals and routines as opportunities to invest in your strength, you begin to see that every day offers countless chances to protect your future. Each choice, no matter how small, is a step toward more energy, more independence, and a healthier body. Practical steps like these are the bridge between knowing the problem and actually solving it, and they are available to you right now, starting with your very next meal. Lasting strength and protection from sarcopenia are never built overnight. One salad, one workout, or one healthy snack won't transform your muscles. The real magic lies in consistency, showing up for yourself day after day with small, steady actions that compound into powerful results over time. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see the tree the next morning, but with regular watering, sunlight, and care, it grows strong and unshakable. Your muscles respond the same way. Each meal filled with nourishing foods, each walk you take, each time you choose movement over sitting is like adding a drop of water to the seed. Eventually, those small drops add up to a vibrant, strong, and resilient body. The challenge many people face is expecting quick fixes. In a world of instant gratification, we are told that a supplement or a 30-day challenge will deliver immediate results. When it doesn't, discouragement sets in and old habits creep back. But muscle health doesn't work that way. It requires patience, persistence, and the understanding that your future strength is the sum of the little things you do repeatedly. When you adopt this mindset, you stop looking for shortcuts and start embracing the daily rituals that sustain you for decades. One of the most important aspects of consistency is routine. Building habits around food and movement makes them automatic, which removes the stress of decision making. For example, you might decide that every morning you'll have a breakfast that includes greens and protein. Over time, that choice becomes second nature, and you no longer have to think about whether you'll do it. It simply becomes part of your life. The same applies to exercise. If you walk for 20 minutes after dinner every evening, it eventually feels incomplete to sit down right after eating. Routine transforms healthy behaviors from chores into natural rhythms. Another key factor is setting realistic goals. If you tell yourself you will completely change your diet, eliminate every indulgence, and exercise 2 hours a day, you will likely burn out within weeks. Consistency thrives on sustainability, not perfection. It is far better to start with 1 or 2 manageable changes, like replacing soda with water or committing to a 15-minute strength routine twice a week, than to set yourself up with unrealistic expectations. Those small steps, repeated consistently, build momentum and confidence. And once you feel the benefits, more energy, stronger muscles, better sleep, you naturally want to keep going. Accountability also strengthens consistency. Sharing your goals with a friend, a family member, or even writing them in a journal can help you stay committed. When others know what you are working toward, or when you track your progress over time, it becomes easier to see how far you've come and harder to give up. Celebrating small wins along the way also reinforces the habit. Did you choose nuts over chips 3 times this week? That's a victory. Did you add an extra serving of vegetables to dinner? That's progress. These moments of recognition keep you motivated to continue. Consistency also requires compassion. There will be days when you eat something less healthy, skip a walk, or feel too tired to exercise. The key is not to see those moments as failures, but as normal parts of the journey. What matters is getting back on track the next day without guilt. Progress is not about being perfect every single time. It's about being consistent most of the time. This mindset shift prevents discouragement and keeps you moving forward. Over the long run, consistency builds resilience, not just in your muscles, but in your mindset. Each day you stick to your healthy habits. You prove to yourself that you are capable of making choices that serve your future. That sense of control and empowerment becomes its own source of strength, fueling even greater commitment. And the results are profound: stronger muscles, better balance, improved energy, and the confidence that you are actively shaping the quality of your life as you age. In the end, protecting yourself from sarcopenia isn't about one dramatic change. It's about the quiet power of repetition, the steady rhythm of daily choices that together create a foundation of strength. The salad today, the walk tomorrow, the decision to cook at home instead of eating processed food. All of these small actions layer on top of each other until they become who you are. That is how lasting results are built. Not through quick fixes, but through the unwavering commitment to care for your body every single day. You hold the power to change your future in ways that are greater than you may realize. The strength of your muscles, the energy you feel each morning, and the freedom to live life on your own terms are not gifts handed down by chance. They are built by the choices you make today. The most inspiring truth about sarcopenia is that it is not inevitable. Yes, muscles naturally weaken with age, but that decline is not fixed in stone. You have the ability to slow it, reverse it, and in many cases completely transform your body's trajectory. That thought alone should fill you with hope, because it means the future is still in your hands. Too often, people surrender to the idea that aging means decline, that getting weaker, slower, and more dependent is simply the way life goes. But that is not the truth. Around the world, there are countless examples of people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s who remain vibrant, active, and independent. They garden, they hike, they dance, and they play with their grandchildren, not because they were lucky, but because they refused to give up on their bodies. They made daily choices to fuel themselves with nourishing food, to stay active, and to care for their muscles as the precious resource they are. If they can do it, so can you. Think of your muscles not as a reflection of your age, but as a bank account. Every healthy meal you eat is like a deposit. Every walk you take is a deposit. Every stretch, every push-up, every bite of beans, greens, or salmon is another deposit. Over time, those deposits grow into a reserve of strength that you can draw from when life challenges you. Whether it's recovering from surgery, lifting a suitcase, or chasing after your grandchildren, the investments you make now will pay you back when you need them most. Isn't that worth the effort? The most powerful takeaway is that you are not powerless. You don't need expensive supplements, miracle pills, or complicated routines. You need only the willingness to start, the courage to keep going, and the belief that your body can still change no matter your age. Every day offers a new chance to choose health. You may not be able to control the number of candles on your birthday cake, but you can absolutely control how strong, energetic, and alive you feel at every stage of life. That is where your power lies. Motivation often comes from imagining the future you want. Picture yourself 10 or 20 years from now. Do you see yourself walking tall, traveling with ease, enjoying meals with friends, and staying active in the lives of your loved ones? That vision is not a fantasy, it is a possibility waiting for you. If you make the right decisions now, each time you prepare a plate of whole foods, each time you lace up your shoes for a walk, you are stepping closer to that future. You are writing the story of your later years with the choices you make today. Even when the journey feels slow, remember that progress is happening. Muscles grow stronger, little by little. Energy builds gradually. Confidence blossoms as you realize you are capable of more than you thought. Celebrate these small victories because they are the signs that you are on the right path. And when doubt creeps in, remind yourself that the alternative, doing nothing, only guarantees decline. Choosing action, even imperfect action, is always better than surrender. Your takeaway is simple but powerful. You are stronger than you think, and you have more control than you realize. Food can be your medicine, movement can be your therapy, and consistency can be your greatest ally. By making these choices, now you are not only protecting your muscles, you are preserving your freedom, your independence, and your joy. The question is not whether it is possible. The question is whether you are willing to begin today. And the answer, I hope, is yes, because your future self will look back and thank you for the courage you showed right now. So forget the magnesium supplements. Choose food, choose strength, choose life. Every meal is an opportunity to build a future you deserve. Start today. Your muscles, your energy, and your future self will thank you.